I've got my recording face on. Did you see how I just snap from
I
like
love it.
resting bitch face to like I'm a professional.
Well, I mean, for anyone who watches the podcast, you do this every episode.
I do. I really
Everyone's a mess. I'm sipping. I always have to take a sip before we hit record or maybe after we hit record, and everyone just goes into their podcast face. So this is a thing.
it is a thing. We're professionals. So if you made it through this far of the intro, this is Kylie's corner, and I have Yiannah back. Like I'm excited. Juices are juicing. I love it. So yeah.
Yes, and again, I have no idea what we're doing today,
Okay, you ready for
which
this?
I love.
I love putting you on the spot because you like, oh, I got like 20 minutes to talk. Let's go.
Yeah, I can handle the pressure.
I love it. And you know what? I was expecting to be a little bit more like funny, like in that kind of way, but we're actually having very serious conversations. So be ready to be enlightened is what I'm going to say. So here's my question for you that I've always wanted to ask, but haven't had the opportunity. Why soul contracts? What? How did all that start? Like, we bust around numbers. I don't know diddles about numbers, right? And I love like, oh, that's her sevens. That's her threes, sitting on threes, right? I love it, and I take the piss because I don't understand it, but I do resonate with the meanings behind it. But what the fuck? Like, what started it? What was the gateway drug into this journey?
The gateway drug was I was doing a puzzle in my dining room table, and I
Okay.
had the TV on. And whatever podcast I was listening to, the episode finished and something else came on. And all of a sudden, usually I don't do it like that. I'm very like, I like what I like and I only listen to what I like. But I
Mhm.
just let it play. And the guest comes on there, and all of a sudden she starts talking about frequency and she pulls up this chart. And as soon as she does that, I just stop what I'm doing. And I'm like, I need to know everything about what she's talking about. I need to preface by saying I don't get hooked in on things like that. Astrology, numerology, whatever it is, nothing has ever pulled me. I'm like, I'm not taking a class for anything. Nothing. For whatever reason, on a soul level, it was like I needed to know everything. And I went on her website and I booked a reading with her, but it was like a month or so out. So I'm like, I can't wait that long because I'm impatient. So I ordered Nicholas's, who he didn't create the modality, no one created it, it's channeled, but he has a whole course and book and everything about it. I ordered his book. By the time the book came in, it was leading up to my reading. And before I had my reading, I had already booked myself for level 1 of soul contracts.
That is if you don't know Yana, that whole story sums you up like no other. Like, I'm just gonna read myself in the week because I don't
Well,
wanna.
listen, yeah, when something feels like when something captures me, I'm all in.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I need to know everything about everything. And now understanding my chart and uh, uh the main purpose of what this incarnation is for me, there's this huge component of not only being honest and sharing my truth, but finding the truth. It's like I have this innate energy where I'm like, I need the holy grail. I don't want just your version of something. I need to know every single piece of information. And I can't just take what people tell me. It has to feel good in my body. This is why I'm having spiritual issues lately with a lot of big topics where I'm like, whatever this narrative is that we've been told for forever, it just doesn't sit right with me. It feels off, it feels wrong, and I need to know the actual truth. And
Right.
so that's how I got into soul contracts. And then, of course, I did them all. And then I did endless readings. And then I created my own course because I also like to learn and teach in a certain way.
Right.
And just the way I'm all in, I also want you to have all the information. So I was like, I need to create a course that offers that. And by the way, you guys kept telling me, "You're gonna teach her, you're gonna teach her." And I'm like, "I'm not teaching shit."
I
And
reject.
then one day I'm creating this course.
Look, see, it's we're right. Sorry, but we're right. Um, and I love that you literally sunk your teeth into this. Like, you were like, "I am all in."
All
I've
in.
never heard you speak about any other modality. Like, you are immersed, became you influenced it. And what I wanna know is, at what point did you go, "This is not this teaching that I've been taught initially is not the full story," because I know just energetically, and I don't know because I have not sat on your teachings and I have not studied this modality at all. But I know just from the way that you share the information, everyone else kind of gives their textbook definition, but you really resonate in every energy and every frequency of that number. At what point and how did you approach it that I want to elaborate and expand on each of these frequencies? Like, what made you do that?
Um, I'm a learner that sometimes I need to hear things many different ways for it to register, or I have to reread something many times to like get it. And so that's part of like the holy grail energy as well. But I remember leaving all 3 levels of the courses that I did, and Nicholas is a great teacher and it's such a beautiful start. Okay,
Mm,
so I'm not undermining any of that, but I left every single one of those with questions. And I'm like, "I did all 3 levels, I should not have a single question." And then I booked a reading with him. And I said, "Nicholas, I just want you to give me every single piece of information that you've never given me before." And the response was, "Well, you'll just get it over time." And
mm,
I was like, "Excuse me, how dare you say that to me?" So then I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna do it in a way where you getting, although Rachel calls it overload of information, in
mhm,
time, you'll be able to take it all. But you should have all the information to fully understand how everything plays out." I learned most of these frequencies through experience, whether it was my experience or watching other people, to where I'm like, "Oh, this is how this frequency plays out. This is how it shows up for people." And when you use those examples, people get it so much easier and they're like, "Oh my God, that totally resonates. That's how it works for me too."
mhm.
And then I just started like people speak to me, and now it's like I hear the frequency that's playing out as they're speaking to me, the words they're using, the thing they're saying, how it's playing out for them. So now it just feels like it's just a part of me. It's the wildest thing ever because I never thought I would be on this path ever.
Right. No, absolutely. Um, it's funny, I find that because I have not studied any modality. I just haven't. It's always been very intuitively led, my knowledge, right? And so I did have a thought. Hold on one second and we'll come back. Um, at how does it feel? Do you feel like modalities do get to be expanded on and it how can I explain this? You know how, like,
Yes.
sometimes you take the shell of the something that resonates with you, but then you keep expanding on it, and then it kinda morphs into its own thing. Like, do you feel like it's
Yes.
not soul contracts anymore, but it's something bigger or something different?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things combined
Right.
because if you remember, there were moments I was having over the last year where I would share with you guys where all of a sudden I would just get this burst of information in my head that would connect to certain frequencies and view them in a way that was never taught. Nobody ever thought of them that way. But I was having this moment of like, why do I know this? How do I know this?
Mhm.
But I couldn't get it. And it just like so many dots were connected. And so I do think this clearly has to be something I've been connected through in other lives
Mhm.
that feels very strong and resonates very strongly with me.
Mhm.
But then I also feel like, of course, I've always hated the name soul contract, but it feels like it's so much more. I just don't know what that more is.
No, I think
Because
it
there's also a knowing that comes in through my work.
right. And I think that it's the combination of the numbers and the frequencies that almost haven't, like, to me, haven't kind of been explored in the fundamental teachings of it. And I do have to say, like, you've picked up a lot of people along the way who are familiar, like I talk about Farley, right, as an example, who are familiar with the numbers, the frequency, and the letters. And talk to me a little bit about like what what has it like what do you think it is that has attracted other people to teach you things? Like, I'm talking from a standpoint, if someone's listening to this and they've learned astrology or human design or whatever it may be, and they're like, well, I've got the core piece of information, but I want to bring in more information. I'm getting downloads, but I want to be able to resonate with community around me regarding this. Do you just really sit in that energy? Did you ask for more guidance? Or did you ask, does that make sense? Like, I'm trying to give examples, and I'm not doing a very good job of how people can expand on their call and modality if they feel like it's not fulfilling the full purpose of it.
It's really hard for me to answer because the way my life plays out is um very much, it's very obvious to me that things are very directed in my life. Meaning, when source feels like, okay, this is your next step, I am shifted into that next step, whether I realize it or not, whether I'm on board or not.
I see.
And so for me, it's not so much that I've been seeking those things, it's that my life just directed me to those things. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It makes sense, and I think
Listen,
that it is it yeah, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, we are sitting here right now because of soul contracts, because of that podcast, because I was home that day, because it randomly played on my YouTube, because.
Right,
All of that trickled effect into meeting Rachel, meeting Lauren, then we met Amanda. You already knew Lauren. I
right,
had a session with you. I knew I wanted to do a podcast, which I already had, but a different one with a collective of women.
right,
And then in my mind, I was like, boom, boom, boom. Rachel goes, Kylie. I'm like, Kylie's never going to say yes to me. You say yes. And here we are 2 years later. It is the wildest chain of events,
right.
which never would have happened if I wasn't at home that day doing that puzzle, randomly letting YouTube select something for me. Or would it have? Would it have some other way?
Right, right. And it's like, did the egg come before the chicken or chicken came before the egg, right?
I hate
Situation.
that.
I know, I'm sorry. You can punch me in the face later, and I it's okay. I expect it. Um,
But
uh,
yeah, so I can't fully answer your question because I think
it's kind of
for
loaded.
me,
Yeah.
yeah. For me, it's a very restricted life where you're here to follow a very specific thing and we can't let you veer off too far to the left or the
Right.
right.
And that's what I struggled with modalities and learning modalities, is because I didn't wanna put my energy into credit of something else when I wanted the freedom to do whatever. So that's how I kind of came up with my own, and it's fluid because of that. And I know that a lot of practitioners struggle with being in that box. Well, I'm certified in this, so I get to stick with this. I get to
Right.
sprinkle my flair in and my intuition in it, but you took it and elaborated on it. And I don't know of anyone who has done that starting at a trained modality point. And I think that is such an inspiration. And we are not tied to our certification. Like, we are not
Right.
forming an alliance or an allegiance to our teacher. That teacher taught us at that time. It doesn't mean that's what we have to do. And I want to give you permission. If you are watching this and you were like, this is not doing it for me anymore, but I feel stuck because this is what I'm certified in, this is what I'm insurance, this is what's on my website. Fuck it. Do you?
Yeah.
Do
Well,
you?
interestingly enough, there's the two frequencies that actually they're meant to outgrow the teacher. They're here for higher learning. One's the 11 tooth. So if
I
you
like
have that in your chart,
do it.
the other
See?
one is the 5-5. And so what happens is they get immersed and they want to learn everything. and they get everything from the teacher, but then all of a sudden they realize, well, the teacher's not perfect either, and they have all these questions, and all of a sudden the students' understanding of things surpasses the teachers. And then they're just meant to then move on to whatever the next thing is. They're not meant to stay in that one space. And, I just can't help myself. I always just have to share things just the way they are. I actually remember sharing a few things with my teacher and him being like, "Oh," like, I saw light bulbs going off, and I
Right.
remember thinking, "No, no, no. That should be the reverse. I should not be having light bulbs going off for you. You should have light bulbs going off for me." But
Right.
by that point, I had already realized, like, I had
On level.
surpassed
Yes,
whatever he had for me, and I was on to the next. I don't know what the next is. Still have yet to discover.
and
It
that's
might
okay.
be myself. I don't know, whatever it is.
So
But
I love that you acknowledged that because it's easy to turn your teacher into someone who doesn't have authority, right? But they do. It's just at a different level, right? So my last question to you is, now that you have students, what has been the biggest learning thing for you having students in the modality that you have dedicated this part of your life to?
oh god, what a question,
I
Kylie.
know. See, we go in. We go deep. I'll give you a minute. Du- 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 du.
That's making it worse.
You're welcome.
Okay, tell me the question again.
Sure. What has been the biggest learning experience for you now that you're the teacher and you have students? What has been the thing that you have taken away from your students?
Um, okay, so a few things. One, um, being very clear and honest from the beginning. I don't know everything. I'm not perfect. The same thing my teacher had told me years ago. Don't
Mhm.
put me in a pedestal. We're all learning together. I just have more information right now that can help you to get to wherever I'm at, right?
Mhm.
Giving all the information and going at their pace is really important, but it's very obvious from right away. The ones that are Yiannahs, because they're just so, oh my God, this is so deep for me. And then the ones that are just like, I just want to learn a new modality. And the ones that are more passionate will ask a million questions. And the beauty of that is that most people have the same question. They're just not answering it or they're just not asking it.
Mhm.
So allowing the student to be a part of the course itself, not just not just somebody who's learning, but actually engaging in that manner is everything because it expands your course so much more. There's so much more detail. But it is so rewarding when at the end you start getting all these emails for them to complete their case studies to get their certification.
Love
It's
it.
just one of those where you're like, you feel like you did something. I actually helped someone contribute. The hardest part I will say is when they say, because this was me. I was like, I can't wait to get to one where I just know it all because I hate not knowing. And so the hardest part when they say, well, when do you think I can learn the stuff enough to do a reading X, Y, and Z? And I'm like, practice. And I hate saying that because not everybody wants to hear it takes practice and it takes time for you to keep doing something repetitively for it to become second nature,
Mhm.
Plus then I also designed, where are they?
Yes. So can't wait for
Oh,
my own.
here they are. Let me just take them out just so everyone can see.
Yes.
I put them back in their case so I don't ever ruin them. But I designed, see, this is how when you get connected to something, this is how it just unfolds to the next thing and the next thing. But I created a intuitive deck for all the frequencies. Cool as
Amazing.
that.
It's so look, and what you can't see is that these are gold foiled.
They're all gold foiled.
So
I mean,
it's
they're
a
just
mwah.
they're it's so I have a project coming up with these. But the point is I didn't set out to do any of this, Kylie. None of it. And it steamrolls into many other opportunities.
Mhm.
And if you just let the universe guide you, it will. It just will. It has to.
Absolutely. There is no wrong decision, right? And if you follow the intuition, the gut, the little breadcrumbs, it always works out to where it's meant to be. Mm,
Yep.
I love that. Can you end with your famous quote that you always say about the pedestal? Because that, I think, needs to be out there in its own little
Yes.
10-second bubble.
So my first spiritual teacher, she is an excellent channel and clairvoyant. And she became a really, really good friend of mine. And she would always say she would host these church services twice a month. There was a spiritual church. And so it'd be on Saturday night. Okay. So I would take 2 Saturday nights out of the month. I'd be like, I'm going to church. Anyway,
Love it.
I remember one time, whatever she was teaching us, um, at one point she said, "Don't put me on a pedestal because I'll be the first person to disappoint you." And
Mhm.
when I heard her say that, my teacher that I loved and adored, and I was like, "How dare you say that? You can never disappoint me." And maybe 6 months or a year or something later, she did or said something, and I can't remember the exact, details right now. She did or said something where I was like, "Oh, that's not how I would it just didn't resonate with me." And it
Mhm.
felt really disappointing, and in that moment, I thought, "Oh, this is what she meant." She's a human too.
Mhm.
She makes mistakes too. She does the same shit that we do, but I made her so perfect in my image that she could do no wrong. And so in that moment, it was a lesson of don't think anybody is better than you or more valuable than you or anything. We're all the same. We're all the same doing different things.
Yep.
And so keeping that allows prevents disappointment in your life. And so that's where that story came from. I'll never forget it. And it's absolutely true every single time.
I love it. I think it's such a good reminder, especially as a practitioner. It's not even like I wouldn't want my if I ever did teach anything, I wouldn't want my students to feel like that either. Like don't put me there. And I think that that is a good check-in of your ego as well to be able to admit that. So I think that's amazing. Well, thank you for sharing your story. And guess what? We did it and we didn't have everyone else talking at the same time because there's only two of us. Insane. We
No
actually got, like,
interruptions. I
some
mean,
really
who would have
I
thought?
found out more about you today than I probably have in 2 years.
Well, until next time, okay?
Okay, until next time, absolutely. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and comment and subscribe because that's how you prove your love to us. No, I'm kidding. Don't do anything you
That's
don't
right.
wanna do. You have free will, but we do appreciate it, and we'll send out good vibes if you do. And, all the links are below. We got the other podcast and Jesus, I'm bad at this, and a collective that's free for 30 days.
And listen, if you're interested in a reading or healing, a journey from Kylie, a soul contract reading from me, head on over to kyliek.com. Head on over to highersoulcontracts.com. Get all your information. Links are below. Leave a comment. We'll reach out to you. Don't you worry. And if there's something else that you would like Kylie to discuss in her corner, just put it down below. It's so
Literally
easy.
corner.
Yeah,
I
we
love it.
accommodate. We accommodate. We love it. We
Oh,
accommodate.
like, how freaking magnificent was that ending? Like, I'm never gonna live up to those standards. I'm gonna have to write it down and just be like, "Thank you for liking and that's gonna be me." Alright.